Hey there, lady. My name is Molly Conley, and I'm devoted to helping women reinvent their love lives. Whether that's after divorce, dating on and off the apps, or in their committed relationship. Why? Because I've been there. I'm a former college athlete who filed for divorce 3 years into marriage, swam in the online dating pool into my late 30s, and now I'm married to the man of my spreadsheet dreams who I met 4 months before the world shut down. As a dating and relationship coach, I help my clients build a foundation filled with clarity, connection, and confidence, knowing Mr. Right is worth waiting for. Each week on the podcast, I'll bring you love life insights and savvy guests where you will receive the courage to release programmed limiting beliefs, discover patterns and behaviors restricting you from finding and attracting quality men, and ways to choose yourself first so you can build a foundation for a healthy relationship with yourself and a partner. Hey there, lady. Thanks for joining me on the podcast. I'm really looking forward to what's coming up this month. If you're ever curious about what events, masterclasses, or courses I have coming up, you can always find out more on my website, especially for events like underneath the resources tab in the navigation. So, one of those upcoming events is the second annual Women's Collective hosted by Juniper and Sage Aesthetics and the Hair Bar in Waterloo, Illinois. I'm one of 7 speakers who will be presenting on topics their audience is craving. I don't know about you, but I swear my hairstylist, especially one that I had back in Omaha before meeting Brad, knew a lot about my love life. And the same goes for any other beauty service. So, when I was talking with Amanda, the owner of Juniper and Sage, I asked her if she knew what her clients are currently struggling with in their relationships or just in their love life in general. And of course, she had a few high level insights to share. There's a few that stood out to me, but one I feel like I have addressed with clients on a one to one basis, yet not truthfully on the podcast. And that's the frustrating statement of why are romantic relationships so hard, especially now? Why are they so much more difficult than maybe what we saw for our parents, or our grandparents, even? So, in previous episodes, I have shared how women's rights have drastically changed in a good way. The financial freedom women have, compared to what my grandparents and even my parents didn't have. But I won't go too much into that, or you can just like look back to previous episodes or use your good friend Google to research women's rights, starting in like the 1950s throughout today to learn more. With that said, there's also science behind the human evolution and our primal instincts to survive that impact our relationships today. One core need that has continued to impact us, all of us, is the need to belong. Belonging is how we have survived for, hundreds of years. And as a child, you leaned on your parents or adults, even just to tell you what was right from wrong, what's acceptable and what's not. And even just to learn how to contribute to be of value in the community. In our lifetime, the contribution of value can be what our families, education, and society has taught us, which further impacts who we select as friends and even as partners. So, even though we may think relationships happen organically, they really have been quote unquote assigned to us. So, let's think about this. Growing up, you were assigned which school you went to because of school districts. Depending on your interests, your success with your education, and your financial situation, you were selected or technically assigned a college to where you could attend. You had an assigned seat in school. Did that influence and impact who you became friends with? Did your neighbors become your friends even if they weren't in the same grade? Based on your education, your experience, your performance, you were selected for all of your past and current career positions. You have an assigned office, cubicle, or desk where you work. Have you become friends with some of your coworkers, some more than others? If you have left a job, have you kept in touch or stayed friends with these previous coworkers, or has it faded away? Majority of our relationships are based on proximity and convenience. which is why romantic relationships aren't always easy. Not easy to find, not easy to keep, and not easy to figure out. Because of the structure we had as kids growing up and within our families, or even just our communities in general, we have been able to adapt our structure, but it will always be similar to the one we may have been raised in. And to be honest, the human brain likes structure. It makes life easier when we can use neural pathways from our childhood or even teenage years and early college years versus trying to create new ones. This is why change as you get older is difficult, depending on what you're trying to change or even just unlearn. But knowing all of that, how does that impact your relationships right now? Today, women want more out of a loving partnership versus having a marriage based on survival and meeting basic needs. Like when I was talking about my parents or grandparents, even that is somewhat what those relationships might have been like, specifically for financial stability or security, even. So not only do we want the fun, adventure, and the romance, we want the partnership, the teamwork, to know someone is going to comfort us when a parent passes away, to, have someone there for us if we end up having cancer or have to be hospitalized. We want someone who is mature and can solve problems together. They know how to actively listen and participate in a relationship. They know the importance of contribution, past a paycheck, mowing the lawn, and taking out the trash. As women, we are looking for men who understand the relationship is the top priority relationship. And I should say men too, because Brad is a good example of that. Brad is my number one relationship, not my mom, not my dad, not my best friend, not my business. Brad is my number one, and I am his too. People close to us may not see that because we can seem very independent from each other, but that is because each of us knows our self and how our relationship works. And to be honest, because each of us went through a divorce, we learned a lot about our own self and what we did wrong in previous relationships. Yet we still know that we have to put ourselves first in order for our relationship to thrive. So if you're a single woman, the relationship you want isn't your parents' relationship. It's not the same anymore. It's not your grandparents' relationship. That's even two generations of a difference of what our world looks like today. It is completely unique to you. Yet, in order to fully encompass this ideal relationship that you're thinking about, we need to expand and elaborate what you want, not only in a relationship, but in your life. And you can't keep playing around as you go. You can't just keep wasting your time testing out one guy here and another guy there. Trust me, I tried that. I mean, a lot of women do. Dating like this would leave me so frustrated that I swore at one point I would never get married again. My parents' friends would always ask me why I wasn't married again by now. Almost a decade after my first marriage. Why hadn't I found a good enough guy to spend my life with? At the time, I would tell them because all the good men were taken and only the shitty ones were single because they were, divorced with baby mama drama, with a drinking problem, with a shitty job, with mommy issues. Like the list, the list went on, to be brutally honest. I bet you've lived something similar. Like me, you probably know, like I did back then, a lot of what I didn't want. So much so that it was hard to figure out what I really wanted, without sounding needy or picky or judgmental. But, lady, that has to happen. You have to say the truth to yourself here. You need to know what you want without feeling judged by others, too. You need to have a space to fully show up as yourself and to know you're not crazy for wanting a man to have the emotional depth as you, who, craves time together as a couple. And I don't just mean like sexy, fun times craving. You want someone who wants something similar to what you want so you can create your own, couples adventure in this life as you go. But how can you do that if you're dating aimlessly or going with the flow or listening to what everyone else wants for you? You can't. You have to figure out a few things here. So, listen, I got 3 things to help you. Number 1, you have to ask yourself, how bad do you want it? How much are you willing to have the relationship you want? Do you really want to find a long term relationship, even if it means getting hurt in the end? Do you really want to find a long-term relationship, even if it means being vulnerable with another person? Or are you looking for Mr. Right now, not Mr. Right? Okay, number two, what are you willing to do to get what you want? Are you willing to put up boundaries, with anyone who questions your singleness? Are you willing to put your foot down when people make jokes about you being single? Are you willing to go out on dates on the weekends to honor your own time during the week? Are you willing to pay for additional services with like online dating or like attend a speed dating event? Are you willing to hire a mentor or a coach to help you accelerate your process? Or are you fine with what you're doing right now and continuing to do the same thing over and over again and having the same results? Then there's number three. Who is the man that you really want? What does that relationship look like? How is that affecting your future life day in and day out? Because guess what? The ring on your finger affects you more than your relationship with your parents, than your best friend, than your career. This is the person who is going to impact your day every single day for the rest of your life. How does that change who you are? How does that change how you show up on a first date? How does that change your relationship with your family? How does that impact your work hours? How do you care for yourself knowing you want a man for the rest of your life? But how do you do this, all of this, without getting frustrated, without giving up on men altogether? Because I don't even know how many times I did to get to where I'm at right now. Without going and doing what I said earlier, going around in circles, doing the same thing over and over again without any sort of success. Well, I have a shortcut for you, and it goes back to number two. What are you willing to do to get what you want? Are you willing to do the work it takes to set your foundation for a long-term relationship? Are you willing to hire a mentor or a coach to help accelerate your progress? Then I want you to consider signing up for the Man of Your Spreadsheet Dreams course. I opened this up to women on the waitlist on May 1st and then to the public on May 3rd. I'm only taking 10 women into the course so I can give them my all. And as I'm recording this, only 7 spots remain. The course starts on Wednesday, May 15th, and it runs for 8 weeks. Within those 8 weeks, we will have 6 live courses that will be about, 60 to 90 minutes long so that you have time to ask questions and get any feedback. Then 2 weeks of the 8 are going to be integration weeks, so you can fully incorporate what you've learned into your life before we move on to the next phase. Those weeks are week 3 and week 7, and we will also have a 1-hour Q&A with coaching available. Plus, you're going to receive homework, resources, and supporting materials after each lesson. Plus, each lesson is going to be recorded and uploaded into our Facebook group where you can access it if you miss a live session. Then, in the Facebook group, I will be there Monday through Friday answering your questions, coaching you if you need it, and challenging you to shift towards the love life vision and the man that you want. Oh, and then at the end of the 8 weeks, I have 3 mini trainings that I'm going to be uploading. They are dating with accountability, what to do when he's almost like spreadsheet perfect, and then another one about intuition versus fear, learning how to trust yourself when using your spreadsheet. There are 3 different payment plans available on my website, as well as more information about the weekly lesson themes. If you want to have the unwavering belief that your man is out there because you're taking matters into your own hands, no longer entertaining or settling for a dime a dozen cookie cutter or average Joe sort of man, and you want structure to help you get there with someone like me by your side for 8 whole weeks for a fraction of the price of one-on-one coaching, then the Man of Your Spreadsheet Dreams course is for you. Head to the show notes for the links to register and learn more. If you have any questions, send me a DM on Instagram and we can talk through it. All right, lady, have a fantastic day, and I will chat with you again next week. Can't stop settling? Sign up to receive daily words of wisdom. I call them Lady Love Lessons. They're for ambitious women like yourself who are tired of hearing they're too much or that they're not enough. It'll help give you the tough love and motivation to choose yourself first. All you have to do is go to my website, reinventingthearena.com, and scroll to the bottom of the homepage to sign up. I'll see you in your inbox.